Hey, Basket Brains, Kirby here, aka Darkwing Disc, and I am alongside Ali Depina, and welcome to episode 5 of the KO Disc Golf Show. This is episode 5, this is the Charmeleon episode. Nomar, Garcia Parra, other famous number 5 players, Johnny Bench, George Brett, the great Albert Pujols, and some bum named Joe DiMaggio, whoever the heck that is. Go ahead and in the comment section today, I want you to comment your favorite number 5 player across any sport. We're down to hear it for sure. This week, we would like to thank our personal disc manufacturer sponsors. I'm going to thank Discmania, thank you, and Ollie.
Yeah, I'm super excited to announce that, especially right after filming last week's episode talking about sponsorships, that I'm gonna be joining the AGL Forest team and like getting in with them. I've been a part of like their community and a part of like what they've been like their online like Facebook groups and talking to like the captains and the owner for a while now, and so it feels really exciting. But yeah, I'm excited to get started and had my first tournament with them and first rated around on Friday with them, so really excited to get going.
Yeah, congratulations, man. The timing of that was so crazy because, we'll dive right into it. Is that we talked about it last week in the episode. We talked about sponsorships and kind of, what those look like and how to get them. And you were still editing the episode afterwards, and you text me, you're like, dude, AGL just reached out. And I'm like, shut up, no way. Like, they didn't even know we talked about them today. So that must have just been icing on the cake for them to be like, oh, snap, like, we got our guy. So that's awesome, man. Yeah, like I said, I'm super excited for you. I'm super pumped. I got a stack of AGL stuff that I pulled from the U section for you at the shop. So come on by and check it out. Tell me if you're interested in any of it. I got one disc in there that I think you'll really, really like. It's with the 12 speed driver, the
The
minor 20,
Redwood.
the redwood. Yeah, there's a sweet feeling redwood in there that I think is
Oh,
bomb. So yeah, yeah,
okay, sweet.
yeah. What else you got? What else did you do this week?
Yeah, so I had Shelton Spring. I started my Friday off with the Seatac league round,
Okay,
and
cool.
I've really been enjoying that. The first week I had one of my maybe most frustrating rounds of all time. Like it was, I'll just be 100% real with it. Like hitting trees, kind of getting undisciplined mentally, and then like after that it was like a snowball effect. So had a couple crazy chain outs that just rolled away to like 50 feet. Just like it was like when it rains, it pours. And
Yeah,
it was like on that OG 18, I was plus 13, which is like, I was like, I didn't even know I
that's
could do that. Like,
yeah,
I was
yeah.
hitting the same tree 3 times on the same hole where I was like, okay, just take it. I needed to calm down, but it was kind of already too late at that point. But this week, first round, sponsored by AGL, went from plus 13, same layout, OG 18 to neg 1. So that felt really good.
Cool.
14 strokes better.
Yeah, no kidding.
And so
That's math
it
for you.
just felt like I was putting better and like that confidence that I always should have, and really just like taking my time and not throwing anything too crazy. We played
Yeah.
around together last week and it really changed how I kind of look at some of these shots where I could try to throw this like booming forehand and chunk off a bunch more distance or like get to this spot when it's like, or I could just throw this like mid or putter and get to this spot and then do something else and attack from there. And so it's been fun and kind of just like learning, like going through percentages, taking my time a little more, and helped with that. And so that
Good.
was my Friday. And also shout out to Christian Blakely and Corey Parker and a few other people because they were out there putting C1 whiskers on the OG 18, and it looks amazing.
That's so cool of them to do. Yeah.
Like when I was playing, like not having to be like, hey, am I out? And like or like having those like little discussions, like just being able to focus on my putt, know exactly what I'm doing, and again, just looks amazing. I think the city came out as well, and so Seatac right now is looking like really great.
Yeah. No, it's great to hear. I know so many of us care so much about that park that I love seeing more activity in it. I love seeing more tournaments and that happening in it. So yeah, Emerald City Discs, like we're running I think like 4 or 5 tournaments there ourselves, So really excited. The first one, I think the Shelton Showdown or the SeaTac Showdown is 2 rounds of the OG 18. I think we have another one maybe in June or July. I forget exactly when, but I think we're gonna do 2 rounds of full 27 because I think it's on the 27th. So it's one of those like Brian and I were like, well, it's a long day, but you know what you're getting into kind of thing. So yeah, I'm gonna try to play both of those. I really, like I said, I love SeaTac myself. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome, man. Yeah, shout out to those guys for sure for taking care of the course and doing some really great things.
Christian's also the one that's running that league, and I just think he's a really great person to be running that. And so, yeah, big shout out to Christian.
Yeah, yeah, he's really ambitious and he's got a ton of ideas and a ton of energy. So we need more people like that in disc golf that are willing to, step up and kind of do stuff. So yeah. Ollie, I saw you went to an F1 race. How was that, man? Look freaking
Oh yeah,
sweet.
so it was. I've been going to these F1 Seattle like watch parties, and so just watching the races, and this was the first one that was in the U.S. that I've watched, so it was like kind of at a normal time,
Yeah,
and so Showroom Auto Works, and like they are just like an awesome group, and they sell a lot of like vintage clothes. I got this Monaco McLaren shirt because
cool.
McLaren won, so I was like, I don't have any McLaren shirts. I gotta get something like that. So
Yeah,
big shout out to them. They also had Project F1 was there, and they brought two racing sims, and so it was
cool. Yeah.
like $20,000 racing simulators where you're like, it was so much fun. Like I was driving, and it felt so real where you're like bumping and the
Mhm.
seats like kind of elevated and stuff like that. So
No
really
kidding.
fun event. This was my second one I've gone to, and the community there is just so nice. Like out like just everyone's just wanted to chat, talk about like the clothes, the cars, the race itself, and everyone's just there for a good time. And so been doing that and was luckily able to get out because the race was at 1 and I had my tea time at like 7:50 in Shelton, so
Oh,
was able to make it like 20 laps into the race, but I was
that's pretty
watching
good.
it
Yeah,
at home anyway.
that's cool, man. Awesome. How was Shelton for you? How'd you do?
uh a lot of ups and downs, but a huge learning experience, I think, for me. Like, I really showed myself I have the tools to compete and like do well on like a lot of holes. Like on that misery whip, like when we were starting off, I through the first 4 holes, I was three down through four,
Nice.
and I was like, I can do this. Yeah, like I can play and I can. This is a hard layout, but like in like par is like totally fine there on a lot of holes, but just felt really good. Kind of got in my head a bit, and like I think like that course was bound to kind of get its number on me. I haven't been there enough. I haven't put in like the work to like know the lines as well. Um, so I kind of started just taking a bunch of double bogeys
Oh, damn.
and went
Making a
from
spiral. Yeah.
yeah, I was spiraled for sure, and it also was a bit of decision making. Kind of another lapse. I mean, I when we only played that round this Monday, so a little lapse in the percentages, but and then also being in a tournament, being like, oh, I gotta save this. And at one point on one of the par fours, I was like maybe like 300 feet off the fairway, just kept shooting left, left,
Mhm.
left, left until I just didn't even. I was like, I don't know where I'm at. Honestly, like it was some random path by a bunch of like dirt mounds and sand, and I was like, this is nowhere near this hole.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
so it was okay. I definitely was upset with like how I played, especially the spiral part, but came back the second day and was like, I'm gonna have fun. I told Roxy I'm gonna have a smile from ear to ear on my face the whole time, no matter what. And I think it just helps with that. Like I was able to get a lot cleaner lines. I feel like not just at the start, like throughout, I was getting birdies a little more,
Yeah.
a lot cleaner lines, and yeah, funny. Maybe one of my favorite tournament moments of all time happened on hole 18. I was kind of done with my round. I'd look at Roxy. I was like, I'm gonna throw this as hard as I can. I grab my destroyer out of my bag. I walk up to the tee pad, and I like get this like deep breath, run up, and I let out the biggest grunt I think I've ever done in my life, and I just throw it. And I swear to God, it was on hole 18 at Shelton, and I was going. It looked so fast. I was gonna go way past the corner. Like I was gonna be like on the first tree line, like looking at the basket. Basically, it
Yeah.
felt like, and
Wow.
but it nailed a tree. And then I was like, it was the loudest tree hit I've ever seen, and everyone was like on my card was like, that was so funny. And I got two of the other guys on my card because they're like, well, the grunt looks like it's working. So I look at them, and one of them's like lining up beforehand, lets out a huge grunt. The other one's
Uh-huh.
lining up a huge shot, lets out a huge grunt. All of our shots are working. We all get down there for putts. The one guy that didn't let out a big, big grunt Not gonna say it's because of it, but didn't get down there from his upshot for a putt.
It might have been the grind. Yeah, you never
So
know.
if you
Yeah,
ever are playing with me or playing in a tournament with me and you hear a big old grunt, just know it's my new unlocked strength.
yeah,
But
that's
I had
it.
a lot of fun, and that was it. Like made my day just seeing these guys laughing, having a good time, and that's like why I play disc golf. So
Yeah, yeah, totally. So this is Snicks. This is Butters' fatter brother, that's for sure. He a big old boy. This is my buddy though. He and I share a pillow in that he wanted to make his little podcast debut. So hi Snicks. Yeah, you're the next most popular one behind your brother. I'm sorry. Yeah, he's a little
oh,
funny.
getting
Yeah.
some love.
Yeah, he wanted to come up. He does this where he like grips onto me, and yeah, now that I touch your paw, you're embarrassed. Yeah, now we're talking about it. Yeah, he likes to give me like hugs. It's really, really sweet of him. Um, yeah, so my round at Shelton did not go anywhere near as planned. My weekend was kind of frustrating, just to say the very least, man. Um, I was not playing well, like through the first like 12 holes, but I literally was walking off a hole 12 being like, I don't know, man, if you can finish this round like +3, +4, tomorrow you can come out and shoot like, I really felt like I was going to shoot like a 10, 12 down on whites. I was like, man, you can just come out tomorrow and just like shred and still put yourself in like a top 10, top 5 position, depending on what the rest of the field does. Because I couldn't really see scores either while I was out there because the internet doesn't work too well out at Shelton. So I didn't really know where else the rest of the division was. I just knew I wasn't shooting in like the pace or the way that I wanted to. I walk up to hole 13 and it's a 350-foot forehand, and 350 is kind of about not my max distance, but up there with my max distance. And I let out the shot, and Adam Alexander on my card goes, "Ooh, looks like you slipped." And I was just like, well, I think I kind of hurt my side though.
Mm.
And I went to pick up my bag, and my left side like just had like this huge pain, this like really tight pain in my side, and the rest of the round was just really uncomfortable, and I threw a couple more forehands because I was kind of like forced in position to, and they all hurt like super bad. So I went home and talked with my wife, and we were like, I don't know, like I don't think I can play tomorrow. Like I physically like can't. I couldn't, and I'm still feeling this a little bit. Like I couldn't bend down to pick up my bag or pick up the disc off the ground. I was in like a lot of pain just lifting my bag up and that kind of thing. So it was a really difficult decision to drop, but it was kind of a decision that made the most sense. I definitely wasn't going to be able to throw a frisbee comfortably. So right now, I think when I looked it up, it is a pulled left flank muscle, which is
Mm.
really frustrating, but it's not necessarily like uncurable. It's like it's going to heal really quick. Um, I did have to drop out of Vegas. Obviously, I'm not in Las Vegas because I definitely couldn't throw a frisbee for the next like 6 days, 7 days straight and be healthy at the same time. So right now I'm just like icing it, and then I'm doing like hot salt soaks and just trying to get some like heat on it and then get some ice on it, and it's already feeling better. Um, I'm hoping to do some like light putting maybe like tomorrow or the day after, and then maybe by like Tuesday or Wednesday next week I'm hoping to like be able to throw backhands and kind of see what that feels like. I don't think I'm gonna throw forehands for probably like a few weeks right now, just because even like when I go through like the backhand motion, like it really doesn't hurt until I swing like my left hip into it. Then I kind of feel like a little pain. When I go to throw the forehand, even when I kind of just like brush through the motion, like it hurts really
Mm.
bad. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go back to backhand turnovers primarily for a while. So that'll be fun to get back into. So, yeah, it's just like frustrating though, like I definitely lost a few $100, like having to like cancel all my reservations and all my plans in Vegas and stuff like that, which is frustrating. It's frustrating. I was like looking forward to like getting out, and like I've never been to Vegas, so I was looking forward to like exploring a little bit and like doing that stuff. So yeah, like all in all, like it's fine. I got this guy looking at me like this, so
Hey, he's like, I got you, Dad.
yeah, exactly. I know my buddy. So it's fine. It's just like a frustrating, like couple of days, and this is not exactly the start to the season that I wanted. Like I didn't play in the Raymond site because of that pollen was kicking my butt, and then I had to drop out of this for a pulled muscle, and I'm missing a third tournament because of a pulled muscle. So I'm really hoping that I can play the North by Northwest up at Kayak not this coming weekend, but the weekend after that. I'm hoping to go up and play that. So I should be able to just throw backhands out there. It'd be fine. And then if I feel okay for it, the qualifying series, I'd love to be able to play in that still. And then going into Portland Open and Beaver State playing, like I really, really am focused on making sure that I'm totally ready and I'm totally healthy to go into those events and give myself the best shot possible. So
Yeah, I think it'd be really rough and like a worse, I mean, it's a pro, like weighing it out. Like, if you're not 100%, if you're making some injury worse, like it's all like hurting you further down the line than you just stopping, nailing it down, and just
yeah,
having it done. So
yeah,
commendable, and sorry about that happening, man. And then we're
yeah,
rooting for you. I know a lot of people. I was at Dubs yesterday, and a few people came up to me and were talking and asking, trying to figure out what was going on. And then they're saying they're excited about this episode, and I was like, we'll be talking about it for sure.
for
So
sure. Yeah. I was really, I really want to thank everybody that on, social media and that kind of reached out and they were like, hey man, like, it sucks, like, hate seeing this happen to you. Like, hope to see you back competing really soon. So, yeah, I just gotta say, like, I really appreciate all those messages. I was like, floored with how many comments and that were coming in. So, yeah, thank you to everybody. I really felt the disc golf family love this week. So that was really cool. So,
what's up?
yeah, but besides that, man, like once I dropped out of the tournament, I've just kind of been doing everything I can to kind of get healthy and also like distract myself because now that I'm not disc golfing, I'm like, well, I want to get out and throw, so I'm just trying to kind of do other things. Like I watched the WWE Backlash.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have any wrestling fans that follow us, but it was kind of awesome. Kevin Owens and Randy Orton against the Bloodline to start the show was like incredible, and I've really become a big like KO fan. Like KO disc golf show, Kevin Owens. It all just works. It's like a whole thing. So we'll see if we can get him on here sometime. That'd be awesome.
That'd be sweet. Wonder if any of those guys disc golf.
Dude, man, that'd be really. They're traveling the country, so it's like, hey, you gotta
You
find
could.
some, So that's cool. Yeah, yeah. Here, I heard you were playing some video games with Presnell this
I
week.
was talking to him. I was talking to him about some video
Okay.
games. So I was curious. I reached out to him because heard he played Rocket League, but was curious what else he played. Big Call of Duty player, big FIFA
Okay.
guy. I reached out to him and was asking him like what he likes to do, kind of outside of congratulated him on his success at Champions Cup and his furthering success at DDO. We'll get into
Yeah.
that a little bit, but continuing that success, which I think is important. And then was like, hey, what do you do for fun, like outside of disc golf? And he was like, really like Rocket League, really like Call of Duty, really like FIFA, and then big NFL guy, big Rams guy. Talked a little bit about that, and then he's pretty high rank in Rocket League. I'm like okay, maybe we can get a game in or two, but I might have to do some grinding to get up to him. He's pretty up there, so.
Yeah. Once he told you his rank, you're like, ah, shit.
I was like, all right, we're getting in the lab right now if I want to play with Prez.
Yeah,
So
that's
maybe
funny.
one day, maybe one day.
That's funny.
Maybe we'll get a FIFA game in or something. That's a little more my speed.
Yeah,
But it would be
totally.
fun.
That's cool. The other thing that I've been watching lately, and I think anybody that's in a relationship, if you've ever seen the show, Ollie, I recommend maybe you check it out with Roxy because it's kind of hilarious. It's this show called The Circle.
Hmm.
It's on Netflix, and I can't really explain the premise of the show necessarily and like do it justice, but like basically all these people are in this like reality type like TV show style show, and they're all in an apartment building, but they don't see each other. They're all in like their own apartments, and they basically just run like a social media page that they all can see, and they're all trying to be, I guess, like social media influencers or something like that. Um, and some of them are like catfish, which is like hilarious because it's this like, old guy like pretending to be this like young model, and it's this like model pretending to be this like dorky guy and stuff like that. It's like kind of hilarious. It's really cringy. I'll say that. And I think that's
I,
why I like watching it because a lot of times you're watching it being like, who says that or who does that, And it's yeah. So that's the other show. If you guys have ever seen that, I highly recommend watching that. It's been
oh,
kind of
I'll tap in. I love
yeah.
a good corny little like. I like those kind of shows a lot.
It's so bad that it's like
Bad TV, bad
yes.
movies. That's
Yeah,
my.
yeah. It's one of those shows where if my wife was just watching it, I would be like, honey, this is so dumb. And then I would stand in the doorway for 15 minutes just like being like, the fuck? Like, what? So, yeah, moving right along, we'll get right into the entire Shelton Springs Open recap. I think the predominant, kind of factor of this tournament was the tough weather. It was rainy and windy both days. I only played round one, and I mean, it pretty much rained on us like almost the entire time. Like it was breezy pretty much the entire time. But it just all in all kind of sucked. So,
Yeah, that
yeah,
weather round two, the winds were so bad in the morning. Like, I remember getting out to those open holes and just being like, please, please get me back in the woods. Like anything to get back in the woods, right? I was like, quick shots, quick shots.
yeah, yeah. It's really hard. I mean, there's a couple of holes out there that you really get super exposed. I think like hole 10, specifically, like going from in the woods to out, being totally exposed and then back into the woods is really, really challenging there. So we're gonna go through the winners real quick. Shout out to MPO winner Matthew Bloom Edmonds. Also shout out to Caleb Joyner. Love playing with that guy. So for him to get a second place, really, really proud of him. Shout out to Allison Madbutt, Darren Mithun, Lori Borelli. Oh man, I should have prefaced these. I'm not good at saying names like this. Ming Vang, Ming's the man. The guy's got over 100 Washington wins. Gordon Kirkpatrick, Gordy, yeah, nice job, my friend. That guy's like way old school Seattle disc golf. He's been doing it around here forever. That guy's awesome. Steve Simmons winning MP70. Philip Rashkow winning MA1. Stephanie Hook winning FA1. James Hustis winning MA40. Jennifer Krasinski, Jenny Awesome, she won FA40. Tim T-Pad Fehrenbach, nice job winning MA50. FA50 winner Tony Morgan. We got Mike Dunn winning MA60. Box squad members, Zach Johns winning
Let's
MA2.
go.
Yeah, nice job, Zach. Hannah Saraki winning FA2. Dax Felding winning MA3. So nice job to all of them. Yeah, really, really great. Shelton's not a easy course to go and win a tournament at. So there's a huge amount of what am I trying to say here? I am super proud of all of you. That's what I'm trying to say. Nice job.
Zach Johns had one bogey on the entire tournament. Huge shout out to him. He just played the
Wow.
exact way to play that
Yeah.
course. Really huge shout out. Shout out to all the box squad in MA2. Corey Parker had a 5th place. Ryan Jones had a 9th place. That's 3
Nice.
top 10s. Like, really
Yeah.
great showing, y'all.
That's great. Yeah. Shout out to Vanessa Stephanie. She won the Deathfire, the event that Emerald City Disc just ran this past weekend. So shout out to her for winning FPO. So Vanessa, I don't know if she's actually listening to this, and if she is, Vanessa, you're a loser. But she's gonna go so far, like in the Seattle area, like it's gonna be so crazy. Like I'm so excited to just like watch her, like just kind of fall into her own player kind of thing. So, yeah, pumped about that. She's gonna if she is listening to this, she's gonna be shocked that I said something nice about her. So,
She's so awesome. Yeah, I love playing
yes,
with her. She's just like, yeah, super supportive, super fun, super funny. Love it.
yeah, yeah.
Also,
All right,
shout out to Nick Greco from that tournament, though. He actually had he had the best score of the entire tournament in MA1. And he had a neg 7 and two neg 7s in a row at that tournament. So ended a neg 14. I played with him at Otis and just really solid guy. Can boom a forehand.
nice. That's awesome. Yeah, let's dive right into our DDO recap real quick, like we usually do here. Calvin gets his win. It's been almost a calendar year, a little over a calendar year since Calvin has won a tournament again. That's awesome. He's a guy who's really easy to root for. I played with him a couple years ago at Beaver State playing in the second and the third round. And, the second round, I was kind of like, what's up with this guy? He's like actually kind of socially awkward a little bit. And the third round, it seemed like he was just real kind of comfortable and opened up and, really funny, just like a funny, like he comes off on camera kind of exactly how he is, where he has kind of that dry humor, but he's kind of goofy and a little silly, like when he finds the opportunity for it. But overall, I mean, he's a competitor. He's a really serious guy. So also shout out to Gannon Bird, Discmania teammate who staying hot. The guy's killing it. And like you said, Presnell, getting a top 5, Waisaki getting a top 5. Love seeing it. So that's awesome. Ollie, you want to hit us with the FPO?
Yeah, and quick shout out Chandler Kramer, tied 21, AGL teammate. Just had to throw that in
Oh,
there.
should that be our? That would be kind of fun to do. I don't. I think it'd be kind of one-sided, but we'll do like a tour rankings of AGL player and Discmania players.
Hey, Amy Lewis and Scott Withers. There we have
Uh-huh.
some really
Okay.
solid people out in
Yeah,
that.
I got Gannonberg, Gatford, Bastock, Alden Harris. I'm down for this game. I'm just saying, like,
Hey, I'll always root.
yeah,
we'll take the underdog there.
as you should, yeah.
But yeah, really fun FBO event. Missy Gannon taking it down. Went to a playoff with Haley King. Emily Weatherman, third place. Really solid name. You don't normally see. Didn't really know who she was at all before this event,
Oh, that's
honestly.
awesome. Yeah,
So got to see. I love seeing new names pop up and seeing competitors. So shout out to her. Holland Hanley with another good finish. Natalie Ryan with the fourth. Kat Merch came from not DNFing the last tournament to seventh. So fun showing. Owen Scoggins ninth, so still in the top 10.
yeah.
But yeah, a fun event. There was a little controversy at the very end that wasn't talked about too much on the Jomez coverage, but little like foot fault, if foot fault, the
Yeah.
supposed foot fault. But
Yeah. Do you want to get into it a little bit? Because when you texted me that yesterday, like I did kind of look into it, and like I don't know, I tried to listen to some stuff about it, and I haven't heard too many people talking about it. Personally, if you want to be like very nitpicky on the rule, like down to a T, she did football. Like the
yeah,
disc, you can like clearly see the disc move like in the coverage and that. So it is by the rule definition a football. But the way the rest of it was handled was like so wrong and just like not the way things are done. I see that all the time. Like that's a thing. Like I do like will be like watch like not that I'm like watching for the sake of being like, oh, I want to call this player out on that kind of thing, but I do just kind of like watch people's feet like kind of often because I don't know where else to look a lot of times, and I just like look at the like where their foot's landing, and like so, like I see people that just like kick their disc all the time, or not like kick it, but you know just kind of like barely push it or touch it, and like whatever, man. Like you're not getting a competitive advantage from like barely touching. Is that technically against the rules to like barely move your disc like that? Like technically to the T, yes, but
yeah.
that's not going to give you a competitive advantage. I personally believe that's against the spirit of the rule. So I'm not going to call anybody out on that. And I think from the way it happened too is like there was like a long delay, and then Haley called her out on it. So it kind of sounded like maybe Haley's caddy or
Was
somebody
like
else.
pushing. Yeah,
Yeah, somebody else like around her might have said something, and then kind of was like, "Hey, you might as well go call it." Just kind of like the Hail Mary kind of thing, the Haley Mary kind of thing.
to try to win. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
I think it could leave a bad taste. Do it like, but overall, I just wish there it was kind of. I think there needs to be more discourse about that. Like, if it was shown, like maybe have like a full like conversation about that and on like that coverage and just like, because I just don't feel like it was talked about as much for someone that maybe like because I'm able to watch it on DGN, but not everyone is, or something like that, or they're just watching Jomez, or like maybe just seeing a clip or something like that. So you got to be able to like look at it like from that. So
yeah,
more
and this
transparency.
yeah, and honestly, in my opinion too, this is like the highest level of competition that we have, and you're at a playoff for the winner of this event. There should be a rules marshal like on that, you know,
Yeah,
like with them. And then because like at that point, like the competition is over. It's just these two players duking it out. Yeah, you kind of got to go down to it. And had the rule marshal like been like, hey Missy, like that's a football, like you touched your disc, you have to rethrow. There's no arguing. Nobody at that point, nobody can come back and be like, oh, that's not fair. Oh, there'd be prejudice, you know, or whatever. Like there's none of that. I think like Emily had one of those too, where she was like teetering on like I mean she from the way I saw that I definitely saw her out of bounds. I didn't think anything of it. But people were like, hey, like you know her card called her out of bounds when other cards might have called her inbounds, and it's like that's crazy. That's out of bounds. Like very few cards would have called her inbounds, and if the other cards did call her inbounds, they're probably not playing exactly correct either because that's not fair.
yeah,
And I understand benefit of the doubt goes to the player. Maybe you only need one blade of grass, and I'm all about like exploiting that rule or exploiting, but you know, using that rule to the full effect. But at the same time, her disc was clearly
yeah. If you
all
throw OB, you're OB.
yeah. She was on the line, which sucks because like when you're on the line, that's so heartbreaking, right? But like it's still the line's out of bounds. Like the line doesn't count. So
Yeah,
seeing stuff like that's just kind of it's just crazy. And like I said, like when you have a playoff, you know, like you need to have a rules official out there, and that rules official needs to be on it. needs to be watching every throw, like, to a very, like, detailed thing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
somebody goes for a jump putt and that rules official thinks that they didn't do the jump putt right. Like, they call them right there and that's it. Like, that game, like, conversation over. So,
Yeah, and it just yeah, there was a lot of discourse on like one of the social medias about like I think it was one of maybe like Hunter from Foundation or one of those guys from Foundation tweeting about something about it and kind of sparked like do we for like this like national tour and this pro tour do we need like rules officials on every card and like kind of thing like that and what's the future of the sport gonna look like and like how official like they're just talking about like the future and what that will look like for
yeah,
instances like this and so it's
yeah,
just it brings a lot of questions into play.
yeah. The Disc Golf Pro Tour is not small enough, or it's not big enough. It's too small, is what I'm trying to say. It's not big enough to have rules officials on every card if we already can't do like UDisc personnel on every card. We're struggling to find volunteers to do that stuff. You can't reasonably expect them to have a rules official around all the time,
Yeah,
or have enough people that are able to like be adept or be as adept with the rules as they can be, to go out and do that kind of thing.
yeah,
There's no,
yeah. There's no like ref organization where they're on a payroll and they all right, it's their job to know the rules basically. Yeah.
there's nothing like that. So this is going to lead us right into like our next talk about how I don't like the way the PDGA is ran exactly, I guess. We're going to get into ratings talk here. I've seen a lot of, I know like Brody Smith was talking a lot about it. I listened to the Smashbox podcast a lot. Um, Brody actually went on the after show and talked like more like with the guys about ratings and that. And I gotta say, like I think Brody is kind of a goober. I'm just gonna go out there and say it. Like he's there. I don't necessarily like everything he says, and I don't know if I necessarily like him. I don't think I dislike him, but I just don't necessarily like agree with everything he says, and I do think he's kind of loud at times. Um, but when it comes to this rating stuff, I do think he makes a lot of really valid points that are all like kind of spot on, and I agree with him. For a lot of it, which is kind of like I don't know, kind of interesting. I don't like ratings. I've been really public about this pretty much for a while now. I am 1,000 rated, which feels cool, but at the same time, like I really don't care. Like, you can tell me that you're going to take 20 points off my ratings, and I'm going to lose another event for the next 6 months, and I'm saying that all day. You can take 100 points off my ratings if you promise that I'm going to win, and I'm still going to win an MPO. Like I don't care about the rating if I'm out
Yeah.
there, competing and playing my best. Like the number to me, like does not matter whatsoever. Um, I think people get really caught up well, I played up to my rating. Oh, I just played below my rating. It's like, yeah, but you won the tournament. Who cares if you played 10 points below your rating? And
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. I think for me personally, I always get a little like, don't worry about this. Oh, this player is 900 rated. I can't believe they're playing this division. It's just like, man, like ratings, like they're so easy.
I think I was the lowest MA1 in the Shelton tournament,
Yeah.
which is like I think on my card the first card was like I was 905 going against the Philip and he was 970, but it's like I don't feel like I'm 905. I don't feel like I don't my rating doesn't define me by any
No,
means. It
no.
doesn't define anyone. So it's like I can go and play to any extent. And yeah, I'm not really playing for that rating. I'm playing for just a score.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if there's like necessarily a great answer for it. I don't like the once you get to 1,000, it's just 1,000 plus for the rating. I don't necessarily love that. I might have liked that idea in the past. Excuse me. Certainly, like I don't really like that as a system. I don't know what the perfect answer is. I don't know. I don't have an answer on how to give like a course like a rating and like, hey, if you come here and you shoot this, you should get that. Like I don't know how to necessarily do that. But I do like the idea that you take your top 10, 12, 15, 20 rounds, and those what makes up your rating. I really like the idea that they still only hold for a calendar year. So maybe you have, we'll say 10 rounds, and, maybe your top 10 rounds average like, 10-30 or something like that, right? You're a 10-30 player. That's awesome. Because some of these pro guys, their top 10 rounds, their top 12 rounds, they're going to put them in the 1065,
Yeah.
1070, 1080 range at times. You know what I mean? Like you got Varela who's got like 1100 rounds in there. Like that's awesome. But as soon as that calendar year comes around, one of those 1100 rounds drop off. if you don't have another one to make up for it, your rating will drop kind of the same way, So I think there's a really good way to do that. I don't, I'm not the guy to be out there kind of doing that kind of stuff, but I just thought it'd be interesting to kind of come on here and kind of talk about ratings and, kind of say like, hey, I don't think that they necessarily are like the end all be all answer to things.
Yeah, I agree with that a lot. I think, yeah, it's a lot better to win than to just like, oh, I shot one of my better, like a top 3 rating, top 5 rating of mine, which does feel good, but like winning?
Yeah, I mean that's really like the biggest thing is I think going out like beating the people around you, and if you're an MA2, you're an MA1, you're an MA3, and you're beating your opponents, you've won like 5 tournaments in a row or something like that in there. Yeah, maybe it's time to move up a division because obviously you've realized like you've learned that you play to that level or above that level. Like now move up kind of thing. If you're
Mm-hmm.
you're an MA1 and you're getting like bottom third or last like 5, kind of consistently, maybe that's your sign to like move down into MA2 and kind of see what you do there. And those ways kind of even themselves out. But hi Butts wanted to make his little appearance.
2 for 1 episode.
I know. Nala's in here too. I don't. She's got a lot more attitude. I don't know if she wants to be picked up though. So that's my rating talk. I don't like ratings. They're too easy to manipulate. There's players out there that can go and only play courses that adhere to their game and that have easy to score ratings, and then they can be super high rated even though they don't deserve it. You have other players, and I, hate to kind of sound like this, but you have players like myself where I personally don't care about the ratings, so I just go and play every tournament. And my rating suffers because I go and play tournaments that don't necessarily score really well. I go and play tournaments where I'm the highest rated player, which doesn't bode well for me for ratings and that. But I don't care. I love competing. I want to win. I don't play disc golf to get a good, number that doesn't matter, right? I go out there to score the best on the course. I go out there to win tournaments. So,
Yeah.
that's my ratings talk.
I think that's what it's about. Like, I have a similar, like, philosophy, or, like, look at that. Like, at least for me, my like the only thing that's different is like, and I'm still looking to win things, but I understand like I'm more looking like there's like more goals that are like about getting better that I'm like looking to achieve that will go into winning, and winning is like that consistent winning. So
yeah. If you focus on winning your tournament and you focus on winning your division, your rating will go up with that. But if you only focus on your rating, it's going to be really hard to get your rating to grow. So just focus on beating the people around you, and your rating will kind of grow in time with that kind of thing. So, moving right along, we will get into our baseball check-in real quick. Then we're going to get into our C draft, and we'll get out of here. So, baseball check-in. The Red Sox not doing too bad, not doing too great. We did run into what I'm calling the Twin Blades because those Twins were on a 12-game win streak. We did lose 2 out of 3, but we did snap the win streak, so that feels really cool. Rafael Devers and Cedane Rafaela are going right now. Those two are just matching the ball. It looks great. Jaron Duran in front of them is absolutely killing it. And our pitching is still great. Tanner Houck still pitching great. Cutter Crawford, who it's hard to say his name and not say it like you're from Louisiana. Cutter Crawford. Those guys are just pitching amazing right now, and love having them on the team. So, Mariners still in first place. Love seeing that. There's a thing I saw online recently. George Kirby might have, which I'm a big George Kirby fan, mostly because I don't run into too many Kirbys, so you got to support the K-Love. But George Kirby will have less walks than he will games started this year, which is a pretty amazing, like Greg Maddux stat. So we love that. And then Cal Riley, big dumper, right? He's got 8 home runs on the season already. Pretty impressive. So
offense is booming. Got the Twins, lost last week, got out of Houston above in that series, which always feels good. And since the last time we talked, we are 3-5, so that feels good. Or 3-2 since the last time we talked on the last week. But just the consistency's getting there. Offense, pitching's looking good, so everything's working out and kind of coming to be. So staying in first, and that's what it's about.
That's definitely it. Yeah. The Red Sox are kind of just keeping their head above water. I think when the trade deadline comes up, they actually might be able to add like a bat, which is wild to say because our lineup was supposed to be like the best part of our team for a long time there. So, yeah, looking forward to the rest of the season. I'll be going to a game pretty soon, I think.
Yeah,
Gonna
I
get my
definitely want to.
Yeah. I'm gonna get my father-in-law tickets. His birthday's coming up soon, so that's like a thing he and I do every year. That'll be
I
fun.
think Texas actually is a half a game ahead of us now.
Are they?
After, yeah,
Okay.
they're 20 and 16 now, and we're 19 and
Okay.
16.
Yeah, I did our show notes yesterday, so something changed last night. That's what happened.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Well, let's get right into our C draft. I won the poll last week with our disc golf snaps. I smoked you in the poll, dude. Like it's pretty one-sided.
Hey, sometimes we're throwing Hail Marys and it works. Sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, that was like I'm pretty sure you and Roxy were the only two that voted for your side.
We'll leave it.
So
Yeah, it's
that's fun.
okay.
All right, but yeah, so this week we're gonna do the C draft. Everything that starts with the word C. I'm gonna choose to have the number one overall pick, which means
Okay.
Ollie, you will have pick number 2 and 3.
Okay.
And give me 1 second here.
Oh, I wonder, wait, is there really a consensus one?
I have a consensus one.
I'm
Yeah,
curious.
I got one that I was pretty like, well, that's the answer here. And then everything else will just kind of fall behind it. So my number one overall pick for the C draft is going to be cats.
Ah,
Yeah, I mean, come on. I got 4 of them at the house. Snicks, Butters, who both made appearances today. Teddy, who is our newest and youngest boy, but he's also like jacked. And then Nala, who I've had since like my junior year of college. She's kind of our old princess. She's also the most like attitude driven one out of the bunch. So yeah, my number one overall pick though for the C draft is cats.
yeah, I have 2 cats. I've had cats my whole life. My cats right now are 2 Scottish folds. They're like white and gray, and they have huge eyes. Beatrice and Winston. Those are my
Okay.
loves. I love them. So
Yeah.
cats, great pick. Love them.
Yeah. Maybe next week. I think next week we should commit to doing like a cat just like segment.
Yeah,
And like
I'll
we'll
try to
throw up
bring
pictures.
Winnie down here or something.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
a little scaredy cat.
Well, at the very least, we'll throw up pictures. Like I learned that I can throw up pictures as my background.
Oh, yeah, I will
Yeah,
do that
so
as
maybe
well.
maybe we can do that. Or if you even send them to me, I can put them as my background or something, and we can kind of have fun with that. So yeah, we'll figure that out. So all right, what do you got for the number 2 pick?
So I had cats on my list. I'm gonna go with, like, I've been going to these F1 events, getting into motorsport. I'm gonna go with cars. You
Okay.
know,
Yeah.
I'm getting it, becoming more of a car guy,
Yeah.
appreciation for cars, and so
Yeah.
you know, when I see a nice car driving down the road, I'm stopping, looking at it
Okay.
a little bit extra.
Yeah.
I saw a McLaren yesterday that was maybe one of the cleanest cars I've ever seen on the street, and I
Yeah.
was kind of in awe. Stopped on Queen
Okay.
Anne, just like, wow.
Yeah. Look at that thing. Yeah, I've seen a
And
bunch of those cyber trucks around. Those things are freaking ugly.
I have not seen one in person. I've only seen the photos, and they look pretty ugly.
It looks dumb. I'm like, what is this? It looks just like it looks like a shape in like math class or something. You're like, well, this, I don't know. I'm sure there's gonna be a bunch of car people who are like, you're so stupid. These are amazing, but like they look so dumb. Yeah.
And then I think for my the third pick, I'm gonna go with something I like to drink every morning, some coffee.
Yeah.
So
That was on my list. Cars
cup of
wasn't on
Joe.
my list. Yeah, cars wasn't on my list because I'm just not like a car guy in any way. Like unless the car's out of gas, I have no idea how to fix it. Um. So, but yeah, coffee was high on my list. I'm a big
There's
coffee.
a few events that get put on by the same the woman that runs the other events that I go to, and it's called Cars and Coffee. So a little
Oh,
hand in
sweet.
hand action.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. Yeah, nice. Okay, so for my number 4 pick, I'm gonna pick cooking.
Oh,
I think I may have mentioned this on the show before, and if I haven't, I used to be a chef. I was a pretty damn good chef, and I still kind of cook at home a lot. So cooking is gonna be my number 2, or my number 4 pick, or I guess the number 4 pick. And then the number 5 pick. I have two that I really want both of them, and I think I'm gonna go with candy.
Oh,
Yeah, love candy, dude. I've
uh,
already drafted candy in like the last draft. I think I've drafted like desserts pretty much in like every draft so far. So, yeah, candy, blue candy. I think last week or 2 weeks ago I drafted blue candy, but Sour Patch Kids are great, Airheads are great, Skittles are great. So
that's a good one.
yeah. All right, what do you got
Well,
for number six?
I'm gonna have to go kind of similar down the same road if it works out. Cookies.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you
Yep, yep.
know, I don't know what the umbrella would be for like, you know, cupcakes or cake and that, but I think I'd take a cookie over a cake. It's more you can do it. You could have a cookie here,
Yeah,
there. Cake, you gotta sit down, plate, cut it.
yeah. I could have one slice of cake, but I could eat a box of cookies.
Exactly. So when it got to like weighing down the dessert options for me, candy was my one with that. I'm a big candy guy, but
Mhm.
I love cookies. Chocolate chip, a little molasses cookie.
Is
Oh,
chocolate? Oh, what's your favorite? Is it chocolate chip or is it molasses?
it's molasses.
Molasses.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I love that.
It
I love
is
that.
so good. I've liked it since I was a kid. Like most, yeah, just I could go kill like easy 12, easy dozen.
That's pretty unique, man. Yeah, I love it. I'm a big peanut butter cookie fan, but
Okay.
I could eat like three or four of them, and then I'm pretty well set. My wife and I have been eating a lot of like, I'll tell you, man, Safeway, like the chocolate chip cookies that Safeway makes are like amazing. I was
Yeah,
like,
so good.
these are way better than they deserve to be, 100%. But the chocolate chip cookies, like the chocolate chunk ones, are like they're so good.
Yeah, I'd say it's molasses and then another molasses. I like a oatmeal raisin and then a chocolate chip.
Yeah, yeah. Oatmeal raisins, it's like
Oatmeal cookies slap. You cannot tell
yeah,
me otherwise.
yeah. That little bit of cinnamon that's in them, it's just like it really sets it over the edge for me. Totally. Yeah.
Oh, all
All
right.
right,
And
what do you
then
got for number
I
seven?
kind of got pinched off a little bit, I feel like, with some of these, but I know Lucas is gonna comment with like the obvious like layup, no brainer,
Yeah.
easy. I swear to God, every single video he's like, I can't believe this didn't get drafted. I can't believe this didn't get
Yeah.
drafted, and I
We're
just am
both
like,
like, I didn't even think about
but so
it.
I already know I'm pulling this out, and I'm like, gosh, but I'm gonna go with computers. I game on PC, like a computer. I play. We're filming this on my computer, so
Yeah.
gonna edit this, and I'm on my computer a lot. So that was kind of, I think I could have. I feel like, yeah, I'm waiting for my Lucas answer that I
Okay.
could have filled that in, but I like
Computer.
my list. I love my list still.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's a great one. I think for my final pick, I'm gonna pick cheese. Um, and specifically, I would like cheese and charcuterie, but I think charcuterie is a different thing. So I'm going just cheese. I'm a big cheese fan. When I was a head, like I said, I was a head chef for a while, and I actually worked at I was like technically a head chef, like cheesemonger, where I worked at this place where we did a lot of like cheese boards and that kind of thing. So
Oh, right as you like this ended, I got my list. I just like, like Chex Mix chips, like all these things. I'm like, whoa, what is going on? I was like, why couldn't I have done this 5 seconds ago?
chips. Oh my god. All right, yeah, let's get into our honorable mentions now. So my list is going to be cats, cooking, candy, and cheese. Your list is cars, coffee, cookies, and computers. And and we missed out on chips,
Chex
clocks,
Mix.
Chex Mix, chains. Uh,
Oh,
yeah, chains would have been kind of like an easy one. What other good c words do? Cowabunga.
Call of Duty was one
Call
of the
of
one I
Duty.
was thinking of.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, there's so chicken is an easy one too. Like, there's so many c words that we probably just kind of blow. That people, all right, comment your best c word in below and tell us how dumb we were for missing it.
Comment your
So
own list and show how better you could do.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Funny.
All right. Well, I got a short little quote for to end out the episode. Fun episode. Um, they say nobody is perfect. Then they tell you practice makes perfect. I wish they'd make up their damn mind. Wilt Chamberlain.
I love it. That's awesome. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. We'll see you next
Yeah.
week.
Thank you. Peace.